Hey folks, Jeff here at Back to Country. Thanks for stopping by the channel today. Appreciate you visiting. Well, today I'm working on a project here in the city, trying to get a few things done so I can get back on the road and get back to the property. Let me show you what I got going on. This here is a piece of fiberglass that was ripped off of my little greenhouse here in the city, and as you can see, it's got some breaks in it and it's kind of tore up, so not really good to put back on the building. Here is the building, and there's some clear plastic. That is what I'm gonna make the repair with. So there, yeah, we got a nice little sunroof. So doesn't let all the light in. I don't know that that's a problem. It seems to work just fine, but definitely the new stuff's gonna make for a nice new skylight. But the real reason that I'm doing this is normally in the winter time we've got a bunch of trees that if it freezes, I need to take them inside to keep them from freezing. The long-term plan is to get them up to the property and get them in greenhouses and all that, but we aren't on that plan yet, so let me show you what's been going on there. So this is some of my citrus trees. This tree here is a Mexican lime, and it is very susceptible to cold weather. It does not like to freeze. So throughout its life it has froze back a couple of times, and yeah, that prevented it from making any fruit. This year's the first year that we really got a ton of fruit off of it, and there's still a few little ones even left on there. But we had some big ones and enjoyed them. But we're deep in the winter now. I mean, it's January already. This here's a key lime. You can see it's still got a few fruit on it as well, and it produces quite a bit. It does a little bit better in the cold than the Mexican lime, but not much. Here we got a Washington Navel. Don't even know how many years we've had this thing, but Saxon and Becknell is who it came from. Washington Navel Orange. As you can see, it's still got 3 oranges on it. We've ate a few off of it already, and we just haven't picked them because once you pick them, you gotta eat them, but if you leave them on the tree, they'll keep longer. This is a cold hardy avocado, but it's had a rough life. It's not doing the best. It's froze back, died off part of the tree, but it's still alive. This here is a Myers lemon that's still got a lot of lemons on it. This is a Maywee, or Maywee, I don't know, kumquat, same as the next one. And they both, as you can see, produce pretty well. Just ate one a few minutes ago, as a matter of fact, and they are delicious if you like kumquats. And this is another Washington Navel. We've picked all the fruit off of it, but it did have 3 big oranges on it. And this is another Meyer lemon. So none of these trees are doing real great. Yeah, I neglect them quite a bit, mainly because I focus on the property, and my goal was always to just keep these things alive until I can get them up there and care for them better. But this year I got some other things too. So these are papaya trees, and we planted them from seed. Just bought a papaya in the store and germinated the seeds and put them in a pot, and as you can see, they've grown pretty well. The problem is that they didn't fruit this year, which not a surprise, just because this was kind of an experiment and we're growing them in pots and they really need to be a lot bigger. But in theory, if we take care of them and get them in the ground and everything, they should actually bloom and produce next season. So now in order to make that happen, we've got to keep them alive through the winter. And you know, everything I've read, papayas do not like cold air. These things are already looking pretty rough. I mean, just probably from the cold that we've had thus far, probably damaged. But they're still alive, and we can keep them alive. The problem is, how do we do that? And I don't want to drag everything in the house, and I'm not going to be here. So normally if I'm here, I can watch the weather, and if it's going to freeze, I move them in the house. But, you know, if I'm not here, there ain't nothing I can do. And sometimes we do get super hard freezes. Of course, a couple years ago, we had what they called Snowmageddon in Texas, or the big Texas freeze. And you can see this saguaro cactus really got damaged. I don't even know long run if this thing's gonna survive or not. At this point, it's still alive, but it's not looking real well. Pieces have fallen off of it, and you know, a lot of the upper part is exposed. You can definitely see the difference between the upper part and the lower part. The lower part was somewhat protected by the house, but the upper part, that cold wind was blowing right into it and just destroyed the heck out of it. We had another saguaro cactus that totally died and froze over. There's the ribs left from it there. I haven't done anything with them yet. So you might wonder, what am I going to do about it? Well, step one is, of course, to get them in the greenhouse. Now this greenhouse is, you know, obviously only protected by fiberglass sheeting, so a good hard freeze will not prevent those plants from freezing. But I do have a plan. I've got electricity in here. Okay, so here's what I got. It says digital temperature control with sensor. Made in China, of course, from Amazon. So these were about 20 bucks each, and I'm hoping this is gonna do what I need it to do. So basically it's a plug-in set. It's got a thermostat, single plug, an outlet. You can set the temperature, so you should be able to set the temperature of what temperature I want it to turn on and what temperature I want it to turn off. And I should be able to hook this up to a heater and the other one up to that light bulb. And so what I'm thinking to do is probably set it for around 35 degrees and maybe turn off at 37 degrees, so it warms up a couple degrees and it keeps the place warm enough to where the greenhouse doesn't go below 35 degrees. That's what I'm thinking. Let's see how it goes together. So I just plugged this thing in the house and I set it. So it says the current temperature is 69.8. The temperature to start or turn it on is set to 35, and the stop temperature is set to 37. So I'm hoping that I then plug a heater into that, light, whatever, and that'll turn on and keep that greenhouse between 35 to 37 degrees. Now this is only when the temperature drops down low. The rest of the time it won't be on. It'll just be off and it'll use, you know, regular temperatures. So hoping this works to keep my plants alive. That's what we're trying to do anyway. Well, this project is complete. Operation keep these plants alive for another winter. Let's see how it works out. So just a review of what we've done here. I've moved all my citrus trees and the avocado and papayas, a few ferns and a palm that Lorena wanted to keep alive, or you know, keep alive without us having to do a whole bunch. moved everything in here. At the top, I've got an electrical outlet, and I plugged in a thermostat control and hooked it to this light, which I don't know if that's a floodlight or a heat lamp or what, but I know it does produce heat, so that should help. And then I've got another outlet up here at the front, and we did the same thing. I had to put an extension cord in that one, but I got a heavy duty extension cord, a short one that I used, and put the controller here, and then I put a cover on it just in case the roof drips or something so that it stays dry. And you can see here that the current temperature is 61.7. It is set to turn on at 37 degrees or 35 degrees and to turn off at 37 degrees. So that should be enough to keep this place above freezing. So hopefully the lowest that it ever sees is 35 degrees. As far as the thermostat, you can see this wire right here is coming down, and at the bottom of it, that's where the thermostat is, so it's just dangling down there. The other one is just hanging right here, and that one says it's 74 degrees. Put the new panels on the top, so that should keep everything good. It rained the other day and I came in here and did not see any leaks or anything, so should be good to go. So I set this heater down here. It is, you got 3 different settings on this thing. So if you turn them both on, it uses 1500 watts. Lowest setting 600 watts, and the middle is 900 watts. So I turned it on with the 900 watt element. So if we say this draws 900 watts, I don't know. I'm going to say that's either 100 or 200 watts. So I am going to sound caution to say 200 watts, which basically means together 1100 watts. We got them on a 15 amp circuit, so we should be fine. If I were to turn that up to 1500 watts, and then that one up there 1700 watts combined, that would be pushing the limits of a 15 amp breaker. I don't want to do that, and I don't want to risk a fire or anything like that, so that's why I chose the medium setting of 900 watts. And I just turned the thermostat on that up to high. So basically, if you give it power, it's going to turn on. And that's what I wanted to do. I want the thermostat that I hooked up, the digital thermostat, to control whether it comes on or not. And so that should power up if the temperature drops down in here, and keep these plants from freezing. So that's the goal. That's how we set it up. I guess you'll have to stick with our channel to see how it goes. All right, folks, thanks for sticking with us through another video. Appreciate your support, appreciate you watching our content, and we hope it helps you out in some way. Of course, as always, if this project turns out to be a massive success or a massive failure, I will follow up in the future and let you know how it goes. Once we get through some freezing temperatures, I'll reassess and see if it's working, and I'll at least mention it in another video so that folks know how it went. Anyway, like always, take care, God bless, and we'll see you on the next one.